Hello. So we're going to break from the original format just for a change. I'm not going to do this very often. This isn't about video games in the slightest, so if that's what you came for, then I do apologise. Well, I'll pick up a bit later on. Also, loader.jp seems to be down, or as well, the Yume folder isn't responding. And I don't know how to read Japanese, so goodness only knows how you deal with that. If anyone's got any ideas. Um, but I just want to talk about something. It's a little bit important to me, and I think I've found that since I've gotten a little older, I'm starting to get a bit more of a sense of social conscience. So, bone marrow donation, just out there, you know. I'm only bringing this up because there's an awful lot of discussion about this over the internet, as far as I've seen, but there aren't that many personal accounts, and I think a lot of people find it more frightening an idea than it actually is. I'd write down my feelings about this, but I figured that a video is probably a better way to get the point across. I mean, you don't have to concentrate as much for one thing, and whenever I write, I have a tendency to create huge walls of text. So it must have been about 4 years ago. I got a letter through, or maybe a phone call, I forget, from the National Blood Service over in the UK. I'll say over in the UK, I mean, I'm still here. But they were asking if I wanted to donate bone marrow, that they'd found a a compatible recipient, and they wanted to take me in for tests and so on and so forth. I'd signed up for it 2 or 3 years prior when I was still in college, I think, and I'd signed up for it when I went in for apheresis platelet donation, which again actually is quite an easy process to go through, and it doesn't hurt. Um, but they took me in, explained the whole process to me, in quite excruciating detail, actually. It was a little intimidating at first when they went through exactly what would go on, but they were very upfront about it and really frank about it as well. And did stress to me at every single point that I was absolutely free to back out at any time. Took a few blood samples, then asked me to go down to my doctor after a few weeks, I think it was, and give some more blood samples. And actually, it's kind of a funny story there. I took the bandage off sooner than I was supposed to after I had the blood test taken. Ended up bleeding straight through my shirt, and then I'm walking down to the post office over here carrying a cardboard container with biohazard symbols all over it, and I honestly thought I was going to get arrested because I'm kind of pale in the face. One arm's now like covered in blood, and I'm carrying a very dubious white cardboard box through town, but no one even blinked an eyelid. Although people might actually have been avoiding me, but anyway. So that all went through, and they told me actually when I was at the centre that there's one or two ways to donate bone marrow. They tell you which one they prefer you to go through at the time, but there's the method most people seem to be aware of, where I think they drill a hole into your pelvis when you're under a general anaesthetic. They take out what they need, and then you wake up in recovery, and you have like a week in hospital. And I have heard that is actually supposed to be quite uncomfortable. I don't know about painful, but then again, I've never been through it, so I'm really not any kind of authority there. But the way they put me through was there's a drug called GCSF. I forget exactly what that stands for, but they had a nurse come over to my home every day, I think for about 5 days straight, and I got a little injection in my lower back, and they told me that it was supposed to stimulate my body's natural production of, I think it was white blood cells. It led to my body producing more bone marrow than it naturally needed to, and then they were going to be able to harvest it without surgery, and it was completely non-invasive and all that. And yeah, they were absolutely right about that. They injected me with this stuff, and to be honest, the worst I got of it was, well, the two things happened actually. That I got a wee bit of insomnia, which was it was just weird more than anything else. I just went to bed. I was tired and I just couldn't go to sleep. It was very strange, but apparently I'm the only person in my region to have actually got that side effect, even though it's one of the ones I warn you about. And also, I don't know if you've ever had where you get a really bad flu and you get that kind of headache. I just got that in my lower back. So more than anything else, it was just really kind of a nuisance. I mean, if I'd have actually had a job, I could have still gone to work. They did unfortunately actually schedule the original extraction through the end of my final exams at university, so we had to get that moved. But took me into a hospital just down from the local. I don't know what you'd call it. There's a local hospital that actually does this kind of thing. Put me up in a hotel, 5 minutes walk down there, and I was told as I went in that I was to get anything I wanted. So any food I wanted, in-room movies, if I wanted to go to the cinema, do that. Anything at all that I wanted to do, I was free to do, and they'd pick up the bill, which was actually remarkably nice of them. We ended up getting quite a bit of food actually, and went into the hospital the next day, and you get I think it's a needle in your left hand, in the back of your left hand, and you get a needle in your right arm. Then I think blood comes out of one side, goes through a centrifuge, they separate out the stem cells that they need to get the bone marrow, then it goes back in your right arm with some anticoagulant, and you don't actually feel anything. I mean, no, right, you feel the needles going in because, unless you've absolutely zero pain tolerance, you're going to feel it when someone injects you with a needle. But well, I mean, it was, as far as needles go, it wasn't particularly painful. The worst thing, the absolute worst part about it was that I'm on the machine. I didn't actually realise I'd be up there for 3 hours. I mean, I'm just sat on a chair, fairly comfortable actually. I could have gone to sleep if I hadn't been attached to a great big clanking device on my right. But I didn't realise I'd be there for 3 hours when I got on there, and they told me before I go into the hospital that I should have a big breakfast, and I should, make sure that I'd had plenty to eat, and that I should have a big cup of tea. And after 3 hours, that big cup of tea made its way all the way through my system, and I finally realised, right, I'm not going to make it all the way through 3 hours. I'm going to have to go to the bathroom. Oh no, you can't get off the machine. Okay, so we'll have to bring you the bottle. And having to have a very pleasant, exceptionally Christian nurse assist you with going to the bathroom in the middle of a room is pretty degrading, actually, for everyone involved. I mean, she'd handled it very well, but I suppose she is a nurse, she's probably seen worse. But anyway, that's seriously the single worst part of the experience. And then you get to write letters to the guy or the woman that you donated to. They don't let you find out anything more apart from their gender, and you might be told what was wrong with them, that they needed a bone marrow, and that's about it. They sent me a bunch of flowers. That was really nice of them, actually, considering how much money had already cost them. That's about it. So I just want to stress that it wasn't painful in any way. It was just at the most uncomfortable, and you do if you're lucky enough to get chosen for it, you stand a very reasonable, well, a very high chance actually of, if not directly saving another human being's life, then at least extending the time they've got with the family. I mean, unfortunately, I believe my guy actually died of leukemia in the end. But, well, he said to me himself in a letter that he got another Christmas with his family, so to be honest, that made a difference. Go figure. And that's about it. I mean, if you don't want to commit to that, then, donate blood. I mean, it's easy enough. And you get free biscuits. Pretty good free biscuits, actually, especially if you're in the UK. I mean, I don't know why you get in America or overseas. I mean, I know you get paid in America, which, to be honest, I'm a little bit miffed about, because I want money, but I get biscuits. But biscuits are good. I mean, biscuits. And everyone's pretty much like, by law, absolutely forced to be nice to you for like the entire rest of the day. So yeah, just food for thought, anyways. And if this actually talks anyone into donating, then right, bonus. Hey, ciao.